confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh. Senate Democrats will meet with President Trump's Supreme Court nominee in the coming weeks. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer was leading the charge to slow walk the confirmation process for Kavanaugh.
Why did the president pick Kavanaugh? He knows that Kavanaugh, more than any of the 25, will roll over the rule of law and get the president off the legal hook that he may well be on. We will not rest until Brett Kavanaugh is defeated and the American people win.
Now a change of tune. Schumer and several other Democrats ending their holdout and scheduling meetings with the president's pick to replace Anthony Kennedy on the high court. Joining me now, one of my favorite people on planet Earth, Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Is this really a change of heart?
No, it's a change of tactics. It's not a change of heart. And it's interesting because the target of these new tactics is not any of the Democrats. It's Senator Rand Paul, because the Democrats discovered that Brett Kavanaugh was instrumental in the creation of the Patriot Act, and probably, they don't know this, but they suspect because he was present, in rendition and the use of harsh interrogation techniques. If they find one memo from Brett Kavanaugh endorsing this stuff, Rand Paul is off the table and he votes with the Democrats to oppose him. And that, of course, will force Mitch McConnell then to get Republican votes. So that's what I think their target is. Every single Democratic senator is going to say to him, why can't we see your papers? Elena Kagan, who worked for Barack Obama, they coughed up over 1 million of her papers when the Republicans want them. Why can't we see yours? And he's probably going to say, you know what, the papers are not in, they're my papers, I wrote them, but I don't have them. The National Archives has them. You're welcome to go and get them. I really have nothing to do with it. And probably nothing will change unless they find that smoking gun that will pry loose Rand Paul and maybe Mike Lee and John McCain. We all know where he is on torture and this type of thing.
So what I hear you saying is this Supreme Court nomination isn't a layup at this point, based on what you just said.
If they find it. If they don't find it, I think it is a layup. I think the president has chosen a nominee and pushed that nominee in such a way as to make him appealing to Democratic senators running for re-election in states that the president won handily, like Joe Manchin in your home state of West Virginia, like Claire McCaskill in Missouri, like Senator Heidi Heitkamp in, either, North or South Dakota, I forget which.
Heitkamp and then Joe Donnelly in Indiana and
yes.
Joe Manchin in West Virginia. Those are the three who voted for Neil Gorsuch. So there is pressure on those three individuals to...
You know, there is, and I don't want to get too in the weeds, but...
Please.
Gorsuch and Kavanaugh are very, very, very different. Kavanaugh is straight from the establishment. Big government, the president is usually right. The police are usually right. The spies are not regulated by the Fourth Amendment. Gorsuch is not in that category.
Sorry.
Gorsuch is a lot closer to Justice Scalia on all of those issues. I say that with great deference.
I know
my friend who's sitting next to me, who risked his life to allow me to be able to say that.
What were you going to say?
I do think it's an important
point. Then I'll let you defend yourself.
In addition to what you're talking about, they might find out. You had talked about this last week about on Kavanaugh's position on privacy issues.
Yes.
And that could be something, I think, that could really sway opinion, don't you?
It could very well sway some Republicans. Judge Kavanaugh has written that the government, I'm holding up my iPhone, the government has access to everything I have in here without a warrant, as long as its purposes are intelligence rather than law enforcement. He has this very, very narrow view of the Fourth Amendment. The Fourth Amendment only regulates the government's prying eyes when it wants information to prosecute us with. Now, there is no Supreme Court case standing for that. It's a very, very minority opinion, but it's an opinion that Republican senators need to think twice about before they vote to favor him, because this could come back to bite everybody. We all put things in here that we expect the government is not going to see unless it gets a search warrant. A search warrant requires probable cause, evidence under oath to a federal judge demonstrating why what's in here is criminal, not lurid and interesting to them.
And by the way, and it's not just Kavanaugh, but that's the reason that Apple has created these phones, every generation of this phone, Apple can no longer open it. Apple has no way of opening this phone.
Yeah.
They say.
So they say.
There's no back door.
Didn't Comey go to some Israeli group to open up the iPhones of those monsters in San Bernardino?
Yeah,
because Apple wouldn't help them, and the FBI couldn't get in there.
That was the story. Yeah, that was the story.
That was the story,
and once again, Apple saying they wouldn't help. And by the way, yes, I agree with you 100%. We all put things on this that we expect the government will not access. I don't put anything on here without the belief that Amazon or Google or somebody else is going to access it. I assume everything I put on here, some tech company's got access to somehow. So I'm not.
But of course, the Fourth Amendment only regulates the government, as you know. It doesn't regulate the manufacturer.
Absolutely. So I don't disagree with that. Given the importance of this issue, don't you suspect, you mentioned, the importance of reviewing his papers. Don't you imagine that they've already done that? They've already accessed every paper that's out there and they're starting to review it?
According to the National Archives, which has the papers from the Bush administration, the papers they're looking for is when he was a young lawyer working in the White House for President Bush. Those documents cannot be available until mid or late October. Now, the goal is the time it takes to get them, I assume. Okay. The goal of Senator McConnell and the White House is to have Judge Kavanaugh on the court by the first Monday in October when the Supreme Court reconvenes. My guess is the Democrats are not going to get these papers, and he probably will pass by a narrow margin.
Wow. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what this means for the midterms, because if he gets in by October, I think that's going to energize Democrats even more. If he doesn't, I'm not sure. I think that's going to energize Republicans even more.
I've always wanted to ask you this. To me, it's in the weeds how you vote for a nominee to the Supreme Court. Are the bases animated by this, a Supreme Court nomination? Do blue-collar people in Western Pennsylvania and Ohio who had always voted Democrat and voted for Trump last time around, do they take this into account when they decide who to vote for Congress in November?
I think that there are a large number of people who have voted for our president in large part just because of the Supreme Court, because it's that important to those folks who are pro-life, who are concerned about the sanctity of marriage. And for those folks, they will likely vote because of the Supreme Court. And I think that's really...
And it's not just on social issues, it's also on immigration. It's also on immigration, like upholding the travel ban.
I have problems with Judge Kavanaugh because of his view on the Fourth Amendment. But he is pro-life. He is pro-gun. He is anti the regulatory state. He presses a lot of buttons that conservatives and even libertarians like I am like a lot.
No.
So the question is, can you overcome his views on the Fourth Amendment? Will he be forthcoming and truthful in his views on the Fourth Amendment when he's talking to a senator who he knows disagrees with him?
I will see you on Outnumbered.
Yes.
Dear fellow.
A lot of fun.
You said that I'll rip your head off. That is not true. I love you. I was
just trying to make you laugh as the show starts, the segment started.
You know what? I would pay for a cage match between you two.
Actually, I'm not sure we agree on almost everything.
We agree on virtually everything. Judge Napolitano.
Pleasure, guys.
Love you much.